What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I've been asked many times about some of my favorite woodsy fragrances. Now, this will vary because there's a variety of woody notes out there. Obviously, a variety of woody fragrances that have different supporting accords and notes that go with them. But in this video, I picked out a few of my favorites that I think are great for all seasons. You can literally wear these every day, no matter the attire, dressed up, dressed down, whatever. Basically, like if you're into woody aromatics, these are signature scent worthy type of woody fragrances if that's kind of your style. So let's dive into these. Stay tuned. Starting with what I believe to be a brilliant example on the topic, this is Dior Homme 2020. Now, admittedly, not one that was love at first sniff. I did like it. Now I love it. It took time. It had to grow on me. So this is one of those prime examples of a multitude of woody notes. From man-made synthetics to more natural, like cedar, Atlas cedar, for example, but also cashmere wood, which is a fantasy soft wood, Issey super, man-made aroma chemical that gives a warm woody tone. There's Vetiver, which offers a nice woodsy, slightly earthy feel. But there's also things like elemi resin to add a little bit of a creamy feel, pink pepper for vibrance because it doesn't really give much spice, a little touch of sweetness. But this is one that it's a straight up woody aromatic scent profile dominated by, like I said, a variety of woody notes. Very masculine, but not so serious. Doesn't smell dated in any way. If anything, it's more of a modern take on a woodsy dominant fragrance scent profile. Big fan. Well-performing fragrance that doesn't overwhelm. It's not too strong, but it's definitely not one that I could imagine too many people complaining about being on the weaker side. This one's a great everyday choice, no matter what situation you're going to be in, whether it's your day off, you're going to work, indoor, outdoors, going out in the evenings. It'll just work. One of the best examples, I think, is what we started with here with Dior Homme 2020. The next fragrance we're going to talk about is a brand new release from this year that was already affordable from discounters and is one of my favorite pickups of the year. This one very much surprised me. It's Vetiver dominant for its woody tone. It's Haitian Vetiver, in fact. It's Issey Miyake L'Odyssée pour Homme Vetiver, their newest release in the L'Odyssée line. Now, this one has a little bit of ginger that offers somewhat of a crisp, lightly fresh spice tone, but overall it's a very aromatic feel from some sage. I want to say there's a little bit of geranium in there that provides a little bit of freshness. I don't remember specifically. I want to say that's in there. A watery accord. Interesting the way this was used. We're actually going to spray this one because it very much has that watery feel, almost like a tonic water type of tone with the other notes in here. And the Haitian Vetiver, which is most notable when it comes to Haitian Vetiver, it's on the fresher side of things. It's not too often you'll see Haitian Vetiver featured in a fragrance and there's really anything earthy about it, unless there's other supporting notes creating that earthy accord, whether it's a smoky tone, a dirt type of feel, whatever. That's not the case. This is a very clean, fresh, woody fragrance, a lot of aromatic tones to it. It's very bright, watery, a little zesty. Like I said, this ginger type of feel gives a little bit of a crisp, spicy tone, just enough to give it some zest without any real citrus. This is a beautiful everyday choice that I think quietly is one of the best releases of the year, because I really don't see this getting too much love outside of myself singing its praises. This is good stuff. A lot of my viewers, you guys watching, some of you watching right now, are the ones that recommended I check this out, and you're absolutely right. This is worth checking out for those of you that don't know about it. I suggest you look into this fragrance. If you're looking for a great everyday woody fragrance, Issey Miyake's got you covered with their newest release, L'Odyssée pour Homme Vetiver. This next one, I mean, woody aromatic for its classification, it's exactly that. There's two different aromatic notes with clary sage and lavender, and there's Vetiver and cedar. You have two woody notes, two different aromatics. It's Ralph's Club from Ralph Lauren. Very mass appealing, great everyday, crowd pleaser. This will pull some compliments. This works in every situation. Has a little bit of the bubblegummy feel from the sage. Like, it definitely has a blue fragrance aura and feel to the scent profile. It's easy to like. If you're the type that doesn't want super versatile, you might not like this. Maybe, I don't even know why you're watching this video, because versatility is kind of the theme of this particular video, and dominated by vetiver and this cedarwood note. I believe it's Virginia cedar in this one in particular, more of a dry woody tone, but the aromatics star just as much as the woods, because you get more of the woods as it dries. That's when it really becomes about more of the vetiver than the cedar. I find I get more of a vetiver smell. There's a little bit of an earthy tone, but not much here. Nothing to really write home about. Performance is decent. Around 6 hours is what I typically get with it. Not, going to overwhelm anyone, but I don't think it really leaves much room for desired. It's very versatile in its scent profile and its wearability, which I think is another understated thing, is the wearability of a fragrance. Should really play into it. Some scent profiles are less wearable than others. This one is very high. It has a very high mark as far as that category is concerned. If you haven't tried this one, they're hitting discounters. They're pretty easy to get at rack stores, gift sets, and stuff like that. It's a very affordable fragrance at this point, and it's a really good addition to anyone's collection and or fragrance wardrobe. Again, it's Ralph's Club from Ralph Lauren. This next one's got a little bit more going on for it than the previous fragrances we talked about. Those were more simplistic with minimalistic note breakdowns, whereas a lot more going on here. There's woody notes, there's vetiver, there's oak moss, but there's a multitude of citruses, mint. Like I said, that's a lot going on here with Mancera, vetiver, sensual, however you'd like to say it. This is a 60 ml bottle. One of the most versatile and enjoyable vetiver woody type fragrances I've ever smelled. The citrus here, you do get kind of that herbal feel from the patchouli mixing with this mint leaf. There's a little bit of, I believe, orchids, the floral, but it doesn't really dominate. Because point being, there's kind of this dry green feel with this citrus at the top. Kind of a sweet citrus. And the woody tones, I don't know if it's the vetiver mixing with the oak moss or what, but either one could provide this slightly earthy, smoky nuance that I get, but I do get a smoky woody tone to this one, mixed with a dry herbal green feel and a sweet citrus. Like I said, sounds interesting, right? It is interesting. This is one I would encourage you checking out. This is such a great fragrance. There was a time when this 60 ml was $44 at fragrancebuy.ca, which I will have linked below. I'm not sure if they have the 60 mLs in stock right now, but even the 120 milliliter bottles you can get for $70, $80 range. Very good price for an extremely awesome fragrance. If you like versatile woody fragrances, this one's got more of a high-level character than some of the other fragrances we've talked about, where they're really good fragrances. That's why they were picked to be featured in this video topic, but they're more simplistic. This one has a little bit more nuance, a little bit more going on, without really costing any more than the other ones, maybe a few dollars more from discounters, but you get your money's worth out of this one. Very bang for your buck, if I may say, because the quality's really good here. Definitely check this one out. If you've never sampled this, you really should. Vetiver Sensuel from Mancera. Now this next one, when you see its note breakdown, you're going to think, wow, there's a lot going on with this fragrance. Pretty simplistic overall. It opens up like the EDT and starts to settle into its own thing, dominated by woody tones. It's Kenzo Homme Eau de Toilette Intense. So this has the familiar calypsone, watermelon aquatic. It's intensified by a C notes accord. So it's very watery, very citrusy aquatic. There's a little bit of this juicy fig smell to it. That is one of the standouts to this fragrance from the Eau de Toilette. Definitely much more nuanced. And it is a more intense version of the original, because you do smell the Eau de Toilette of the same bottle style. You smell that in here. It kind of falls somewhere in between the EDT and the Eau de Parfum, because the Eau de Parfum has that beautiful, robust leather accord, where this is dominated by woods. Akigala wood, sandalwood. I believe there's some vetiver in here, if I remember correctly. Super woody. Much more woody than you may think when you see this note breakdown. Like that aquatic tone and the fig, they stay present, but they take a backseat to the woody notes in this fragrance. It is about as woody aromatic as they come. There is an aquatic tone, like I said, a little bit of a fruitiness here, but a slight bitter fruitiness because it's fig. So it's not like juicy and super sweet. It's a different type of juicy fruit smell, which makes this one extremely interesting. This is more of an enthusiast type of fragrance. This is, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it can pull some compliments, though in the short time I've had it, I've never gotten a compliment yet. But it's a more interesting and intriguing scent. That's why I say it's more for an enthusiast than just the mass market. That's who's really going to hype this up and really appreciate this. It's somebody that's into fragrances more than just having a handful of fragrances at their disposal. If you're the collector or enthusiast type, you'll probably appreciate the, kind of effort that was put into an affordable designer fragrance like this, because this is some really good stuff. Like I said, very aquatic and fig dominant early on, but gets overwhelmed by this dense woody feel that makes it a wonderful option year round, more so in the other seasons besides just summer. Because the aquatic tones, don't just think hot weather. I think this is great year round. Definitely check this one out. This is a hype beast in the making. Kenzo Homme Eau de Toilette Intense. This next one is a very unique blend. It is superior in many ways to its Eau de Toilette counterpart that came out first, but very unique. I have to say kudos to Hermes with this line. I'm loving H24, but especially H24 Eau de Parfum. So the unique standout here is Brazilian rosewood. It offers this dark, rich, woody tone that kind of overwhelms the aroma with this earthy green oak moss feel. Still has that metallic tone at the top from the Eau de Toilette. So unique. God, this is such a unique fragrance. I can't wait to see the long term with this line, because the Eau de Toilette was such a refreshing, bright green, slightly citric feeling, even though there's no citrus listed, metallic fragrance. That green metallic feel is still here, but they managed to not lose any of that freshness, not much of it anyways, by adding this earthy green mossy feel with this Brazilian rosewood. Brazilian rosewood is inherently a darker wood overall. It really stands out when there's a decent amount of it in a fragrance buildup, and it really shines here. I smell it from the start. It just gets stronger as it dries down. This one, while I wouldn't say the most versatile fragrance in this video, it's still something you can wear year round. It's just going to be the most interesting out of all of these fragrances. I kind of saved the most interesting 3 for last to feature in this video. We got from basic to more interesting is kind of how you can look at it. You should really try this. This one's going to be a little polarizing for some because the metallic nature with the earthiness is an odd combination, but in my opinion, it really works. This is beautiful. If you really want to stand out, but it still has that high wearability factor, I strongly encourage you. Please try H24 Eau de Parfum from Hermes. This last fragrance was one of the bigger surprises of the year for me as far as new releases, because I was excited when it got announced. I was like, all right, this is promising. This has a chance. They give you a basic 3-note note breakdown, which is the norm these days, 3 to 4 notes from these designers. The first few, like Issey Vetiver, for example, they only give you 4 notes. Here they give you 3. Violet leaf, clary sage, and cedar wood. And you get all of that with Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum. So when this one opens up, it kind of reminds me a little bit of this, mixed with this, with its own little twist of an aquatic feel from some violet leaf. So you get the woodiness and the aromatic feel from both. I smell Dior Homme 2020. I smell Ralph's Club. I smell both of them in here. But that violet leaf, the violet leaf is what separates it and gives it its slight own little unique twist and character on both of those fragrances. Decent performer too. This one's above average, 6 to 8 hour range in longevity. Not going to overwhelm you unless you spray it heavy. It can be a little dense because there's a lot of wood. Hefty aromatic tone here with the clary sage. There's a lot of it. But this is good stuff, guys. I think this is an underrated and underappreciated release for this year, though. I think it's one of my 10 favorite designers to release this year. I don't think it'll get that type of admiration from everyone, but I would encourage you to sample this one. Familiar, yet slightly different. Not challenging, not out the box, not any type of unwearable situation here. Wearability still very high, as with all of them on here. I think the one that has just a little notch less in wearability from the rest is H24 EDP in this video, but even then, still super versatile. I would encourage you to get your nose on this one. This one's going to fly under the radar as one of the better releases to not really get the admiration as one of the better releases of 2023. It's a great scent. Try it. Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum. Well, that was 7 that I had for you in this video. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. What's some of your favorite wood-dominated fragrances? I could have did much more than 7, but I felt 7 was a short, sweet number to really go with this particular category and topic, because some of these are pretty new to the collection, and kind of expanding upon my vetiver and woody based fragrances, and I thought they deserved some limelight. So we gave it to him here in this video. And until next time, we'll see if you get your hands on any of the ones featured in this video and you give them a spray now, there's always that chance you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.